welcome back to the channel, and today we are looking at a different take on a Yeti smash. And this is going to be on base number 25, and it's going to be K-Dub, Shang, depending on if you're on War Whales or not. But this base right here gave us a little bit of a problem, just because of, as you can see, it's not like your typical layout that you would see like on an anti-3 base. He's got the single inferno up top, double scatter shot islands with a ring of defenses on the outside of them, and then heroes down here at 6 with the eagle, 2 ground expos, and then he's got 2 air expos up top. So not a very conventional base. So K-Dub came up with a very unconventional way of taking down the base. So we hit this base first with a queen charge from 6 with a wall break, and let the queen come in here, kind of pick which direction she wants to go. Once she gets cleared through here, she gets a CC, the heroes, you're gonna burn like an early rage. And then once she picks what direction you want to go, say she goes towards 3, use the king and the siege barracks to funnel, and then wall break, and then do like a jump spell. The first time we did it, we like quad quaked everything here, and we ended up time failing. We tried to repeat it because it was a time fail, and the queen, or we used like one different troop and ended up getting this spell factory down. Dropped the king over here where we thought she was going to go, but because the spell factory was down, ends up walking the queen this way, and the Yetis all coming here, and they kind of died out, right? So kind of had to go back to the drawing board to figure out how we could make this attack go exactly how we wanted it to go in regards to the queen. So first thing we decided was that this queen charge would benefit from having the warden with her as well. So drop the queen, drop the healers, drop the warden, Coco Loon, wall break. The warden with the queen, as long as the warden is safe behind the queen and not going to get targeted, and the queen is taking damage, the healers won't swap to the warden. So in this area, the only thing that can really do damage here is the heroes and these wizard towers. And by the time the queen gets up here, the wizard towers will lock on the queen. So there's no risk in here of the healer swapping to the warden. And adding the warden to a queen walk amplifies the amount of damage exponentially on that queen charge. So that basically enables Shang to only have to use one rage spell to clear everything in here. Okay, so sticking with the same plan, we made it so that the queen was going to go this way. And the way we did that was we decided we're just going to go ahead and forcefully take down this spell factory, which caused the queen to go this way in the original attack. And then when it was down, we knew that the queen, since it was exact replica of the first queen charge, on the second hit we knew that this went down and the queen came back around. So we just said, you know what, let's just get this down instead of letting her pick a side. That's the building that's forcing her to choose, so we're just going to force her to go that way. All right, so that's kind of the way we like to tackle these diamond bases. So I always kind of preach this on these diamond bases: queen charge from 6 or whatever corner, and then let her pick a side, and then kind of mass attack from the other side. Now, the one that we had success on where we time failed, I think we got like a 98%. Everything ended over here. But what went wrong was the town hall, everything went into these compartments, and the town hall area was kind of left alone. So we decided that we were going to do the wall break and then jump to kind of connect all this area to where everything would have access to both of these, and then jump out on the backside. That way we wouldn't have this, this cluster up here. What Shang is actually going to do is he's going to allow his troops to go this way, and he's going to rely on his queen getting this. And then for the other half of the base that's remaining, say from here, well, it's actually from the eagle, so this half of the base that doesn't go down to the queen charge, because the queen's going to clear everything here with the Yetis and then kind of work her way here. What he ends up doing is bringing in a stone slammer this way, And in the first attack, the queen turns around after killing this air defense. So we were actually banking on that air defense going down, and then the slammer would have no issues in this area, directly targeting the eagle, and then working towards this 9 o'clock compartment. However, the air defense on this one does end up staying up, so it kind of throws off that plan. Ends up still getting the same value, but he's going to throw an electron in there with no clone. So it's just E-drag and 3 loons, and he's going to rage that up. And the idea was, if we can clear all the way up here and all of this and have everything moving to the scatter shot towards 9 o'clock, and then we can get the E-drag to clear everything here, the only thing left will be this Inferno Tower and the trash over here. And that's exactly what ends up happening. I believe he uses the Royal Champ at 12 while everything's coming in, and the Royal Champ just kind of supports everything going that way. But this was a very good identification of the base. Like I said, on these triangle bases, what you're looking for is this double space in between the third buildings. So 1, 2, 3. So this double space in between these buildings, what ends up happening with queens is, if you have a wall break here, the queen will step here, and then she'll kind of ping pong and get these 3 buildings down, and then from here she'll step in, because the double space with the addition of the space of the tiles that are created here means that she'll step forward in order to get these buildings down. And then after that, you're kind of just waiting to see what direction she picks. There is a point on all of these bases where the queen will end up, like, say here on this wizard tower, and she'll take down these buildings. Now this space between here, since she can reach all those from the wizard tower, if these buildings are still up, even though it seems like she's gonna go that way, she will wrap back to get these buildings because it's closer. So when she gets in here, if these spell factories are down and she's already taken all this out, the next closest building is behind her. So don't be over eager to get your funnel down. Realize that just because she stepped towards this wizard tower doesn't mean that this isn't closer than this expo. Okay, so you're gonna see that in Shang's attack, and that's the reason why this wizard is gonna be kind of instrumental in forcing his queen to go that way, because it leaves this spell factory up, which pushes his queen over here. Because from this wizard tower where the queen's gonna stop, this is not closer than this. So she's actually gonna bounce out and start walking this way. Now she's already cleared this. She's walking this way, and you have a wall break here. So this is fine, because your Yetis and your queen and everything is heading this way anyway. So this is pretty much your funnel point for your Yeti smash. And then the king is out here clearing everything over here. Everything goes down this way, and then what you have left is right here. Okay, so that's the idea. It's just going to be opposite. Shang is going to do a good job being really patient, and then it was completely his idea to add in the E-Dragon, and it ended up working out really well. Gets the eagle down. The E-Dragon actually doesn't do very much. It's the stone slammer that does a lot of the work. So we're going to see how that worked out for him. I'll kind of commentate on the way through. He's bringing 2 wall breakers. One for the corner over here, one for the queen. Gets the queen down, and you're going to see what I mean by her picking this side. Now, even with the Teslas there, it doesn't matter. And I'll show you why it doesn't really matter. Because while she's picking that off, see how she steps? She's going to go. Now, here's that double space. So the next closest target is right inside. And it would be the same thing, because there is a Tesla on the same spot over here. So queen's going to come in here. Now that warden's just buffing the queen so much. The poison's down. Everything's dying. He's in no danger. One of the attacks that we had on this, the guy tried to kind of hold the rage and ended up forcing his queen ability. I'm a huge proponent of just using, if you know you're going to use a rage to get to a certain area, just use it. Don't try to time it too much. Queen will be fine. And here's where the queen is going to get pulled to that spell factory. So here she comes. She's going. Now we were expecting her to bounce back, but there she bounces back for that. And because this spell factory is still up, she's going to come back. Okay? Now, if that spell factory was down, she would have kept walking over here. But uses the king, uses a Yeti and a bowler and a wizard, because we actually decided like halfway through the attack that we wanted to send the king in because he would clear so much up here. Gets locked on by the single, which is unfortunate. We were hoping the Yeti would get that, but gets the tome down so the king doesn't have to pop his ability yet. And here comes the queen. She's going to bounce into this middle channel to get this expo, and all the other troops are going to be up top with the RC, and he's directly targeting this eagle with the stone slammer. Everything's getting the town hall. Everything's going to ride forward, getting everything down at 12. RC's putting in work with the Yetis over there. Queen's trying to beat through the wall in order to get to that eagle, but ends up getting it down before she gets there. Now he has like a double Yeti smash kind of going on. The scatter is going to cause some problems for the Yetis, but not for the RC. E-drag. I mean, the balloons kept taking out all the buildings for the E-drag, so it was like he couldn't get anything off. Finally gets the chain off. Doesn't really do too much, though. Skellies pop, but these loons are coming in. And that is how you clean up a base. You got to make some changes sometimes. Like I said in the previous video with Alex, you know, unconventional bases kind of rely on unconventional strategies. And sometimes, you know, thinking outside the box is exactly what you need. That Eagle artillery staying up caused us quite a bit of problems on the original hit. And just recognizing like, hey, this all worked. You know, like the queen charge, it worked. We only used one rage, got a ton of value. The wall break works. We get a ton of value coming in through here, get the scatter shot down. Everything kind of rides this, you know, this lane. You know, the jump spell here allows us to clear out over here. The only thing that didn't work on the previous hits was the Eagle artillery. So trying to fix that, you know, maybe we could put the siege barracks down here and the hogs will go directly in. And then Shank's just like, no, why don't we just use a, you know, a stone slammer and an E-dragon? So probably would have been better using a stone slammer with just loons. But either way, the attack works. We never argue with a 3-star. Very nice attack from Shang here. And I think this was his first Yeti triple in CWO. So very he would have had a 6-pack this war. But he used a super wall breaker, and a Warden Tower picked up super wall breaker and threw off his attack. So very unfortunate there, but he ends up coming through. And again, this was a very clutch point in the war. I think this was the triple that put us down 2. It might have been the one that put us down 3. I'm not sure. I think it was after Alex went live, but we're all on voice. I was spotting him. This was kind of a funny attack because Alex came in late for the planning and only caught the back end of it. And during the attack, he was like calling stuff out, and it was not what we discussed. So he was like, put in RC, and I'm like, no, not yet. And he's like, all right, put the slammer in up top at 12. And I'm like, no, don't do that. So it was kind of interesting just how we were talking through it. But very nice attack, very fun war. And I love hopping on the voice with the guys and just kind of clearing up these bases. We got to just do a better job in War Wheels of doing that in the beginning and the middle of the war. Can't save all the in-depth planning for the end of the war. We're going to get it. And this was a we only lost by 1 star. And if we would have tripled our last, we had 2 attacks go live in the last minute. We tripled one. I was on voice chat with the guy who tripled that one. And then in the other channel, we had just shy of a 3-star, which ended up costing us the victory. But very good job, Shang. Very intuitive plan, and I look forward to seeing you come up with some more crazy plans in the future. All right, guys. Thank you for all the likes and support, all the subscribing. You know, it's been pretty overwhelming. By the time this video comes out, I'm hoping we're past 200 subscribers. So thanks for everyone who's continued to watch and support my channel. I promise to keep bringing you more. Our next video, I believe, is going to be Sui Lalo, and it's going to be coming from our cleanup guy. He's probably our best cleanup attacker in the clan, and he's usually the last attacker, and that would be Janice Sins. So we're going to take a look at his very, very clutch last-minute Sui Lalo triple to put us within 1 star of winning this war. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Take it easy.